Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is the SST Edupedia. I myself Akash Javrani. Today I am going to teach you the subject Foundation Course. Foundation Course Physical Education subject. This subject comes under the class SY BCom, SY BEF, SY BCBA, SY BMS. This subject is in the semester 4. The topic that I am going to cover, that is module 3. The topic name is Yoga Education Part 1. For this Yoga Education module, I have covered two parts, Part 1 and Part 2. Today we are going to teach the Part 1, that is Part 1. Differences between the yogic exercises and the non-yogic exercises. Second part, contribution of yoga to sports. Third part, principles of asanas and bandh. And the fourth part is misconceptions about yoga. These four topics are there in the third module. Okay, so we are going to cover today only one topic, that is the difference between the yogic exercises and the non-yogic exercises. Next three parts will be covered in the next video. So, introduction of the yogic exercises and the non-yogic exercises. The introduction is that exercises and yoga both involve bodily movements, which is why it is common for many people to consider yoga as a form of exercise and vice versa. However, there are some important distinctions between the two. Okay, so some people are doing yoga, some people are doing exercises. Many people think that both are similar. Yoga and exercise are similar, but it is not similar. Okay, it is not similar because yoga is a form of spirituality, mental health and a physical health. After doing yoga, you can find mental peace, inner peace, you can find spirituality, you can find in your mind. Okay, so but after doing exercises, physical exercise, you cannot find spirituality, mental health, you can only find your physical health. So this is the main difference between the yoga and the exercises. That is, it is written that only. What is exercises? The introduction of exercises. Exercises is a physical activity which causes muscles and vital organs in the body to become energized. Most exercises also improve blood circulation, which is beneficial to a person's overall health. Furthermore, certain types of exercises are helpful in preventing illness or diseases by keeping unwanted weight of the body. By doing exercises, we can reduce our weight. We can by doing exercises, blood circulation also get improved. We are feeling energized. Our body will become fit by doing physical exercises, by jogging, by running, or by doing cardio in the gyms. We can reduce our weights. Okay, so it is the meaning of exercises. Yoga. What is yoga? Yoga does not only deals with the physical health of an individual, but it also deals with the physical health, spirituality, as well as mental health of an individual. Okay, proponents believe that a preparatory prerequisite to accomplish a higher state of consciousness is a healthy and a balanced physical body. Okay, for doing yoga, you will find three things in your body: physical health, mental health, and also spirituality. So these are the brief introduction about the yoga and the exercise. Difference between the yoga and the exercise. What is the difference between the yoga and exercise? People often do exercises by reducing their weights. People often do exercises for goals. For example, it is written here, people often exercise for two main reasons. First, to have a better physical health. For better physical health, people are going gyms. Okay, and overall to achieve the weight loss. 90% people are doing the exercises for their losing weights, to reduce the weights. While most people do yoga can also improve their physical appearance and health, the ultimate goal of yoga is to reach a higher state of consciousness. For doing yoga, there is no goal of doing yoga. You can do a yoga to reach a higher state of consciousness. Means inner mental health, nervous system. Exercising involves the sympathetic nervous system. As a result, exercising produces a feeling of tiredness. Whenever you are doing a long-term exercises, you will feel tired. But whenever you are doing yoga, you will feel relaxed. Okay. So this is the Very sorry. So this is about nervous system. Next one, equipment required. Well, whenever you are doing an exercise, you will need a requirement. You will need a equipments required. For example, you are doing a cardio, so you will need that cardio equipments. You are to gain your weight, so you will take dumbbells, and also you will all need requirement for the exercises. You will need requirement. Or skipping rope you will require whenever you want to do the skipping. So these are all the requirements required whenever you do a exercise. But whenever you are doing a yoga, nothing will be required. You will need to have an adequate space for doing a yoga. Oxygen consumption. Whenever you are doing a exercise, you will need more oxygen. Okay, for example, it is written that whenever you are doing a cardio in a gym, you will require more oxygen. But whenever you are doing yoga, no oxygen is required. One of the focuses of yoga is proper breathing. Consequently, proper breathing technique lead to reduced oxygen consumption. Means you will oxygen is required. Without oxygen we cannot live. But the meaning of my sentence is that you will require reduce oxygen consumption whenever you are doing yoga, because yoga is very important. Yoga does not need so much oxygen as need required by the exercise. Caloric consumption. The nature of most exercises results in moderate to high caloric consumption. Whenever you are doing exercise, you will have more calories. Okay, because exercising needs more food. Whenever you are doing exercise, you will require more food, you will require more protein. Okay, whenever the persons are going to gym, they consume proteins and all, because whenever they consume protein, then also they will get energy to do all these things, gyms, and which is usually why most people are typically famished after exercising. After exercising, many people gets hungry fast because exercising do. Yoga on the other hand results in a relatively low caloric consumption. Yoga does not need so much caloric consumption, because that is why yogis generally consume less food than the people who exercise. Yogis consume less food, okay, than exercise, because in yoga you don't need to have to run here and there. Okay, you don't need to have to long jumps and high jumps in yogas. Energy conservation. And exercising is a catabolic process which is characterized by a restrictive metabolism. In other words, in simple words, if I am telling, it is capable of breaking down the energy. Whenever you are doing exercise, it is breaking down your energy. After exercise, you feel tired, okay, but after doing yoga, your energy is conserved. You feel relaxed, you feel flexible after doing the yoga. It is not, I am not against the exercise. I am telling you the distinguish between the yoga and the exercise. Type of movement. Exercising normally requires rapid forceful movements. Whenever you are doing a exercise, you will need more forceful movements. Whenever we are doing push-ups, whenever you are doing something exercises, you will need more force. But whenever you are doing yoga, it is not, you don't need any force. Okay. On the other hand, yoga generally calls for slow dynamic movements. Toning of the muscles. Exercising helps tone the muscles, and the yoga is not concerned with toning the muscles. However, many poses or movements lead to muscle strengthening. Okay. Next, risk of injury involved. Risk of injury is mainly involved in the exercises, not in the yogas, because whenever you are doing exercise more than your comfort, then it may injure you. Okay, it is written that exercising involves a high risk of injury because most physical activities generally affect the muscles and the ligaments. Yoga involves a low risk of injury. Yoga involves a low risk of injury as compared to the exercise, because the poses have a little impact on the muscles and the ligaments. Next, health and age restrictions. Whenever you are doing exercise, it is written that it is not, the exercise is that it is many times I read that after 14 to 50 years you can go to a gym. After this 16 years you can go to a gym. Okay, but yoga, it is not restricted. The age of yoga is not restricted. Even a 4 years child can do a yoga. Even a 60 years man or woman can do a yoga. It is not, yoga is not upon the age restriction, but the exercise is a age restriction. Exercising is often performed by people who are in a good health. If you are in good health, you can do exercise, you can do running, jumping, skipping, whatever you can want to, you can do. But if an individual is sick, you can't do all these things. Furthermore, while there are exercises that older individuals can perform, the more strenuous activities are usually done by the younger people. जो more exercises जो are done by the young people, the heavy exercises are not done by the old people. They cannot do. Old people, I think I am talking about the 50 plus, 60 plus individuals cannot do all these heavy exercises, but the young people can do. Adults can do heavy exercises. Yoga can be performed whether the person is sick or not. Yoga can be performed anywhere. Whether the person is sick or not, he can do yoga or she can do yoga. There is also no age limit when performing most yoga poses. There is no age limit. Effects on the joints. Most physical exercises have a tendency to overwork the joint, which can result in stiffness or rheumatism as a person grows older. Yoga has no adverse effect on the joint. When a person gets older, you can do a joint pain when you are getting older, but yoga has no adverse effects on the joints. So this is the brief description I have told you about the yoga and the exercises. Okay, yoga is a flexible thing. You can do yoga whatever the age is. Okay, but exercise is not that. This is the main difference between the yoga and the exercise. I hope you understand the distinction between the yoga and the exercises, all these things. Okay, thank you very much.